Hi everyone. In this video, we will cover real-time Azure Administrator interview questions based on actual enterprise job requirements. I'll explain each concept with practical examples so you can confidently answer in interviews. In real projects, we never deploy resources randomly. We use Azure landing zones, which act like a foundation. For example, in one project, we created separate subscriptions for dev, test, and production under management groups. Policies were applied at the top level to restrict regions and enforce tagging. This ensures governance from day one. In enterprise environments, we may have 50-plus subscriptions, so we organize them using management groups. For example, production subscriptions are grouped separately from non-production. Access is controlled using RBAC, so only authorized users can make changes. In one scenario, developers were deploying resources in random regions. We implemented Azure policy to restrict deployments only to central India. Another example is enforcing tagging like environment and owner for cost tracking.
In production, we never give permanent admin access. Instead, we use PM. For example, if a user needs contributor access, they request it and get access only for 1 hour. This reduces security risks. In one issue, a VM was going down frequently. Using log analytics, we identified CPU spikes. We created alerts so whenever CPU exceeds 80%, notifications are triggered. This helps in proactive monitoring. In hybrid environments, we use Azure AD Connect to sync on-prem users to Azure. For example, when a new employee joins, creating a user in Active Directory automatically syncs to Azure. In one project, instead of storing passwords in code, we stored them in Key Vault. Applications securely fetch secrets at runtime. This improves security and avoids exposure. In production, AKS is deployed across 3 availability zones to ensure high availability. We use private clusters so the API server is not exposed to the internet. Monitoring is done using Azure Monitor. In real environments, manual deployment leads to errors. Using Terraform, we define infrastructure in code. For example, creating VM, network, and storage can be done in one script and reused across environments. Azure Firewall controls outbound and inbound traffic. For example, we can block internet access from production servers except required domains. This improves security posture. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to explain my experience. I would like to conclude by explaining how I can add value to your organization. I come from a strong system administration background with around 10+ years of experience handling real-time IT infrastructure. In my journey, I have worked on Windows servers, Active Directory, DNS, DHCP, and troubleshooting end-user and server-level issues. Because of this background, I have developed a strong foundation in understanding how systems behave in production environments, not just theory, but real-time problem-solving. Now, when I started learning Azure, I didn't approach it just as a course. I connected every Azure service with my real-time experience. For example, when I learned Microsoft Entra ID, I compared it with Active Directory. When I worked on Azure RBAC, I connected it with real-time access control challenges I handled in on-prem environments. This approach helped me understand cloud not just technically, but practically. I would say one of my biggest strengths is troubleshooting. In production, issues don't come with instructions. For example, a server might go down, users might lose access, or applications may stop working. In such cases, I stay calm, analyze logs, check dependencies, and identify root cause step by step. Even in Azure, I follow the same approach, using Azure Monitor, log analytics, and alerts to identify issues before they impact users. Another important area I focus on is security and governance. In real environments, giving full access to everyone is risky. That is why concepts like RBAC and privileged identity management are very important. I strongly believe in least privilege access and controlled permissions. I may not know everything today, but I clearly understand how to learn quickly. Whenever I face something new, I follow a simple approach. First, I understand the requirement. Second, I explore documentation and real-time scenarios. Third, I test in a lab environment. And finally, I implement it carefully. This learning mindset helps me adapt quickly to new tools and technologies. For example, tools like Terraform or Kubernetes. Even if I don't have deep production experience yet, I am already learning them with a practical mindset. I understand their purpose, and I am confident that I can work on them with proper guidance. I also believe strongly in automation and standardization. Manual work always leads to errors in large environments. That is why infrastructure as code tools like Terraform are very useful. Even small automation improvements can save a lot of time and reduce risk. Another important quality I bring is ownership. If I am assigned a task, I take responsibility to complete it properly. I don't stop at partial solutions. I try to understand the root cause and ensure the issue does not repeat again. I also work well in team environments. In IT, we always work with multiple teams: network team, security team, application team. Communication and coordination are very important. I ensure clear communication and proper updates during issue handling. Coming to this opportunity, I see this role as a great platform to grow into a strong Azure professional. I am not just looking for a job, I am looking for a place where I can learn, contribute, and grow long-term. If I get this opportunity, I will put in my full effort to learn quickly, adapt to your environment, and start contributing as soon as possible. Even if there are areas where I need improvement, I am confident that my learning ability and dedication will help me close those gaps quickly. I believe in continuous improvement, and I am always ready to upgrade my skills based on project needs. Finally, I would like to say, I may not know everything today, but I have the mindset, experience, and dedication to learn anything required and deliver results. Thank you again for this opportunity. I would be happy to answer any questions.